I'll be totally honest, I don't exactly know what to say. I don't know all the technical terms. How about let's start with this. My name is Elise. So in your kit, you should have received 2 shorter pieces. So take one of those and you're gonna have one edge sticking up towards the top, and then use one of your hands to pinch the top and the bottom of the cord as you wrap it. You can wrap to the left or the right, totally doesn't matter. And then I like to wrap it as many times as you can, just to give it a little bit more length. And you want to make sure that you're wrapping as tightly as you can around there, as this is kind of what holds the whole top of your plant hanger together. And then as you get down towards the bottom, you should have a little loop left, and you're going to want to stick the remaining piece of cord through that loop, and then pull from the top and the bottom. And the top is going to pull that piece of cord into the spiral wrap that you've done, and that way you don't see any tied off knots, and you just have a really nice clean wrap around your top to get you started. And then I just take my scissors, trim off those ends, and then I generally just use the bottom of my scissors and jam that little leftover fray back inside. So now for our first square knot. So in macrame, you generally always work in strands of 4. So take 4 of your strands, and you're going to start by making kind of what would look like a P, the letter P, and then pinch with your thumb on those middle 2 that are going to hang down, and then with the left one, go down behind and then through that open hole on the right side, and then bring it up and tighten it. And then you're going to do the exact same thing on the left side. So basically like a backwards P, pinch that with your thumb, bring the right cord over the front, behind, and then up through, and then pull it all the way up nice and tight. And then you can see you have your little square, and then you're going to repeat that step and keep going all the way down for quite a while. So again, we're going to go back to the right side, making that letter P type thing, bringing the right cord all the way in the front and pinching that, and then bringing the left cord behind, up, and through, and pulling that tight. And then now we're going to move and do the same thing on the left side. So going from that right to left is what gives you the even square look. So then you're just going to repeat that same step and going back and forth, right to left, right to left. So I did about a total of 18 knots, or you could say 9 full square knots, but it's totally up to you. If you want the top, that top section to be a little shorter, then you can kind of mess around with it and see what you think looks the best. So if you can flip your ring around, that way you can have a little bit better reach for the front here. And then again, take 4 strands, and you're going to do the exact same knots, the square knots that you were doing on the first section, starting with that P shape, and then the left strand going over the front, behind everything, and up and through. and then going on the left side with that strand, coming in front, pinching it, and then the right cord going forward behind and pulling up. I wish there was some way to make this video funny in any way, but I just don't know how. So now you're just going to watch me do the exact same thing over and over again until my section gets to about 9 total square knots. So what it is basically the same motion, hand motion that we did with the square knot, except you never go to the left. You do the right side over and over again, and then as we go, you'll see that it starts to turn into kind of like a little spiral that I like to call the DNA knot. Alright, so I like to make mine and do about the same space as the top section is. So I just kind of measure with my fingers about what I think it should be. And then, as boring as it sounds, we're going to do the exact same type of knot at the top. So doing that left, or starting with the right, pinching that, bringing the left cord behind, up and through. But the trick on this one is we do not go to the left side. We continue doing the right every single time. So taking that right cord again, making your little shape of a letter P, the left cord comes in front of that right piece, behind everything, and then up and through, and then tightening it. And then you keep doing that as you go, over and over again. And soon you will see it start to turn into a spiral shape. All right, so here you can see a little closer up, and it's already, even just after a few knots, you can already see that it's starting to turn. So you just keep going on that right, starting always on that right side, and then it will just keep turning and keep turning into a spiral. Now is where it's going to come into the fact that we are making all these be able to actually hold a pot and a plant in it. Alright, so as we get lower, we're now going to take 2 from each of these sections, 2 pieces from each of these sections. We'll go down a little bit, about the same amount as our knots right here, and then we're going to go back to our regular square knot. And then making sure we get the left side in. And then we'll do that one more time. So right side square knot and the left side. And there we go. And then we're going to shift it a little bit to take 2 from here and 2 from there. And we're just going to kind of measure it just to make sure that it's at about the same level as that one. And then now, if you turn around to the back, you should have 4 cords left, 2 from each different section coming from the top. And then again, do those same exact square knots. All right, here I'm just saying that if you have a specific pot, I recommend kind of putting it in there with one hand and then using your other hand to pinch at the bottom just to see about how much space you'll need for your specific pot. If you don't have one yet, I kind of just recommend eyeballing it, again, giving it about the same amount of space that you've been putting in between each section of knots. And then you're going to take that second piece of shorter cord, and then you're going to start to do this same little wrap knot that's at the very top. So again, because I'm right-handed, I pinch with my left thumb, and then I bring the rest of my hand around to hold the cord in place as I'm twisting. And it's kind of nice with your pinky, you can kind of leave that little loop at the bottom in there, and then you're going to put that little last bit of string through the loop, pulling it up, and then trimming off those extra pieces, and voila. So now you just get to cut off the ends of your cord. I personally like to leave the end a little bit longer, and then I also like to fray the bottoms of mine. So that's just unraveling the cord a little bit. And then there you have your macrame plant holder. And if you guys have any questions that I can answer, please let me know. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it so much.